Right, we're back up here at the shop and figuring out what we got to do to mount that board warner on here. See what she can do. Okay, I've noticed that the V-band flange right here, it's a 3-inch V-band flange coming out the back. It's lined up with those bolt holes. See, it's just inside those bolt holes. That's the distance. What we got here with this Aurora 3000 is this housing here. See, it bolts up right there. I had to build me a transition, modify it a little bit. So now to keep the downpipe and everything the same, don't have to mess with the wastegate. And I want to put this back on here if I have to. I could get a different cartridge. I just want to be able to put it back on there if I can. So what I'm going to have to do is the distance between here and here. I don't want two V-bands on there. Because these V-band clamps, so you can see right there, this little soot. It's hard to keep them from leaking just a little bit. And I don't want to have two leaks, you know, right before it drives the primary turbo or the 6870 precision down there. So I am going to take this off here. I'm going to keep track of the distance here, which I'll be able to tell by the bolts on the T3 flange. I'll be able to measure off of that. That way I come up with the same distance, so all of our intercooler piping, all of our plumbing, everything's the same. And what I'll end up doing, which I'll end up just welding a flange, a T3 flange on the back of this. The turbine itself, it's not that big, so that should be fine. I'll just weld a T3 flange on the end of this, and that should keep everything aligned, and that way I can switch them on and off. As far as the oil feed line should be the same. Well, it is the same, and the drain is the same. There's enough slack in them hoses that everything should work out good. But I'm waiting on some equipment to get in so we can do some different videoing. But right now, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and support that. Go ahead and start pulling it off and get that piece off of there. Try to keep as much of this plumbed up as possible. Get that piece off of there, set it up, weld it up, put it back on, put that other turbo back on, and be in business before the end of the day. So let's see what we can do, and I'll show you how that, if it improves or not. If we lose some top end because the housing's a little smaller, or we know it's gonna be improved on the bottom end. I can see it. Yeah, we got this going on here. We're putting this on there, and that's down a little bit just because I got it hanging. I just got that hanging. So the height's good, but you can see that gap we got there. All right, I'm just picking that up with the wire. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think I might just cut this flange off of here. All right, cut the flange off of here and actually weld a piece of pipe onto that flange. Scoot this flange out here to match that. That way this is to there. That's the beginning of the turn. And then it gets a little straight coming out of the exhaust housing, and the turbo goes straight before it turns down. Then I don't have to mess with cutting this out, and the extension for the Aurora will bolt back on there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna disassemble this. I'm gonna cut this off here. I'm gonna measure that distance between the two faces of the flange, and we're gonna add pipe there. And before we'll tack it on, we'll fit it back up to make sure it aligns good, and then we'll weld it all back up. All right, we're measuring this. This is between the new turbo and the flange, and I am that's the front face of the down pipe, or the down pipe going to the other turbo. And then if I cut that flange off the housing, that's the front face of the housing. So from the front face of the housing to there, that's what I need. So, alright, it's a 1 inch 900 and what is that, 12 thousandths. So that's what we need, and that's where the face of the other flange needs to sit. So get